Big news for Yellowstone fans, the franchise is officially moving to Texas. We just learned that the Beth and Rip spin-off has started filming there, and if you know this universe, that only means one thing. Another long-awaited spin-off is finally on the horizon. Of course, I'm talking about 6666. This project has been in the works longer than any other series in the Yellowstone universe, and it's set to be filmed at the legendary 4-6's ranch. Now, this isn't just a Hollywood set, it's a real, fully operational ranch in Texas with a fascinating history of its own. That's important because, for the first time, this franchise is leaning heavily into authentic ranching life instead of simply focusing on drama. Don't get me wrong, Yellowstone has always been entertaining, but it was never truly about modern ranching as it's lived day to day. 4-6 changes that. The 4-6 matters because it grounds the entire Yellowstone world in reality. It gives the series a chance to tell stories beyond the Dutton family in Montana, widening the scope to the broader Western experience. Honestly, it feels long overdue. And now that the Beth and Rip spin-off has also shifted production to Texas, it's pretty clear Taylor Sheridan is reshaping the entire franchise around this state. That means we can expect plenty of crossover moments between the Beth and Rip spin-off and 6666. And that's exciting. It sets the stage for characters to interact, stories to overlap, and the franchise to feel even more connected. According to Paramount, 6666 is confirmed for a 2025 release. The frustrating part? We're already halfway through 2025, and there's still no official release date. If you've been following Yellowstone spin-offs for a while, though, this shouldn't surprise you. Paramount has a habit of waiting until the very last minute to drop big news. Surprise trailers, sudden announcements, they know they don't need heavy marketing because fans are already invested. Sure, it's annoying, but it's also effective. Now here's where things get interesting. Rumor has it that Beth and Rip will actually appear in the first episode of 6666. The storyline reportedly brings in Travis, yes, the same character most of us can't stand, to help them settle into Texas. He'll act as their guide in finding the right ranch, which honestly mirrors Taylor Sheridan's own role in the franchise as a Texan ranch owner himself. At the same time, Beth and Rip will be making sure Jimmy and Teeter are in good hands. They'll introduce Travis to their strengths, essentially vouching for them and placing their trust in him to help them succeed. Because make no mistake, Jimmy and Teeter aren't just supporting players here. They're being set up as the true leads of 6666. This new chapter is their chance to shine, and it looks like Taylor Sheridan is betting big on them to carry the series forward. To really understand why 6666 matters so much, let's rewind a little. Fans first got a glimpse of the 4-6's ranch back in Yellowstone Season 4, and then again in Season 5. At first, those scenes might have seemed like a side plot, maybe even filler, but in hindsight, it's clear they were carefully planting the seeds for this spin-off. Those glimpses weren't random. They were the foundation for the story we're finally about to see. And yet, it's been nearly 4 years since that first tease. 4 years of waiting, speculating, and holding on to promises. To be honest, my patience is running thin at this point, and I know I'm not the only one. But the one reason I keep hanging on can be summed up in a single name, Jimmy. Jimmy's journey has been one of the most rewarding arcs in the entire franchise. He started out as this awkward, accident-prone kid who couldn't catch a break, just trying to survive in the world of the Dutton Ranch. Over time, we watched him transform into a capable cowboy who not only earned respect but also built a real future for himself. By the time Season 5 rolled around, Jimmy wasn't the same character anymore. The contrast between the clueless young man we met in Season 1 and the hardened cowboy we saw later is night and day. That arc, from underdog to respected cowboy, is what makes 6666 so appealing. This isn't just another spin-off. It's a continuation of Jimmy's redemption story, one that shows how far he's come and how much farther he can go. But here's where things get complicated. Jimmy's actor, Jefferson White, has been one of the busiest men in Hollywood lately. His schedule has been stacked, from playing Lee Harvey Oswald in November 1963, to voicing Haymitch in the Hunger Games prequel audiobook, to popping up in Netflix's You, and even taking roles in Bedford Park. With so many commitments, it's easy to see why 6666 might have been delayed. Balancing all those projects while anchoring an entire spin-off isn't an easy task. Still, fans like me are hopeful that he'll manage to juggle it all, because without Jimmy, this show simply wouldn't work. And now, enter Teeter. Bringing Teeter into the spin-off might just be the smartest decision Taylor Sheridan has made in a while. She's one of the most unique, fan-favorite characters in the entire Yellowstone universe. Her quirky charm, raw energy, and surprising emotional depth always stand out. Giving her a bigger role ensures that audiences will tune in week after week, because she adds a flavor that no one else can replicate. On top of that, Jennifer Landon, who plays Teeter, has kept a lighter schedule this year compared to Jefferson White. That actually works in the show's favor, since it means she can fully commit to 6666. Between Jimmy's growth and Teeter's fan-favorite presence, this spin-off has the chance to build its entire foundation on two characters who are more than ready to step into the spotlight. Now let's talk about the one thing that's been driving fans crazy, the release date. Paramount has already confirmed that 6666 is coming in 2025, but here we are, well past the halfway point of the year, and there's still no official premiere announcement. For a lot of us, that's frustrating, especially after waiting 4 years since the first tease. But if you've been following Taylor Sheridan's playbook, you know this is nothing new. Paramount has a habit of holding out until the very last second before dropping trailers or release dates. It's a strategy they've used before: surprise announcements, sudden teasers, and out-of-nowhere premiere dates. Why? Because they know they don't need a huge marketing campaign for a Yellowstone spin-off. The fan base is already locked in, and whether they promote it for 3 months or 3 weeks, people are going to show up. It's annoying, yes, but it's also effective. That said, there are a few rumors circulating that could make the wait worthwhile. Word is that Beth and Rip will actually appear in the very first episode of 6666. Their role will be to help transition Jimmy and Teeter into their new environment, introducing them to Travis, who acts as a sort of gatekeeper for ranch life in Texas. Now, here's the catch: most fans don't exactly love Travis. In fact, he might be one of the least popular recurring characters in the Yellowstone universe. But the signs are clear: Taylor Sheridan seems determined to make him a regular presence in 6666. The character is essentially Taylor Sheridan's alter ego, a flashy cowboy with deep ties to Texas ranching culture. It's almost like Sheridan wrote himself into the story. So, what does that mean for the show? On one hand, having Travis as a mentor figure for Jimmy and Teeter could provide an interesting dynamic. It adds a local, Texas native voice to balance out the Montana transplants. On the other hand, it's a gamble because a lot of viewers have already made up their minds about him. If audiences don't warm up to Travis, his bigger role could drag the show down. That's why Paramount might be leaning heavily on Jimmy and Teeter to carry the emotional weight. Jimmy represents growth and redemption, while Teeter brings humor, grit, and heart. Together, they can offset Travis's presence and keep fans invested. And who knows? Maybe the spin-off will give Travis enough depth to change people's minds. Stranger things have happened in this franchise. As for timing, industry insiders are betting on a trailer sometime this fall. That would line up with a late 2025 release, maybe around November or December. It's not official yet, but if you look at how Paramount has handled past Yellowstone projects, a fall teaser followed by a winter premiere feels like the most realistic scenario. Until then, fans are stuck in limbo, waiting for that one big announcement. The good news is that all signs still point to 6666 being very much alive and in active development. So unless Paramount drops some unexpected bad news, it looks like we'll finally get the 4/6's story we've been promised for years. Of course, no discussion about 6666 would be complete without talking about the fans. If you've been online lately, you've probably noticed that reactions to this spin-off are split. On one side, there are die-hard Yellowstone fans who are thrilled to see Jimmy and Teeter step into the spotlight. These viewers feel like the show is finally giving proper attention to characters who earned their place through hard work and personal growth. For them, 6666 represents a fresh start while still staying connected to the roots of the franchise. On the other side, there's a fair bit of skepticism. Moving the Yellowstone universe from Montana to Texas is a big shift, and not everyone is sure it's going to work. For years, fans have associated the franchise with the rugged beauty of Montana landscapes and the complicated drama of the Dutton family. By comparison, Texas feels like uncharted territory. The Four Sixes Ranch might be authentic, but it's also unfamiliar to most viewers. That means Sheridan and his team will have to work extra hard to make Texas feel just as iconic as Montana. Then, of course, there's the Travis factor. As much as Sheridan wants us to embrace him as a core part of the story, fans are hesitant. Some people are flat out saying they won't watch if Travis is too central. Others are more open-minded, hoping that maybe this spin-off can reframe him in a better light. It's a gamble, but one that could either pay off or backfire spectacularly. Still, what's undeniable is the potential this show has to expand the Yellowstone cinematic universe in new directions. Up until now, the franchise has been heavily centered on one family's legacy in Montana. With 6666, the doors open to a broader picture of Western ranching culture. This isn't just about the Duttons anymore. It's about the wider world of cowboys, cattle, and the challenges of running a historic ranch in modern America. In that sense, the spin-off could actually ground the franchise in a way we haven't seen before. And let's not forget the crossover potential. With Beth and Rip moving to Texas in their own spin-off, and 6666 being set at the same ranch, there's a strong chance we'll see storylines weave together. Imagine Beth's fiery personality clashing with the hard-nosed traditions of the Four Sixes, or Rip sizing up the cowboys who now share space with Jimmy and Teeter. Those interactions alone could be worth tuning in for. At the end of the day, fans want two things: compelling stories and authentic characters. If 6666 delivers both, then it won't matter that we've shifted from Montana to Texas or that Travis is along for the ride. What will matter is whether Jimmy's growth continues, whether Teeter's spirit shines, and whether the Four Sixes feels like a world worth investing in. So now, I want to hear from you. Are you excited about 6666, or are you still on the fence? Do you think Travis deserves another chance, or are you ready to skip his storyline entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'll be reading through them all. And don't forget, if you want weekly updates, breakdowns, and deep dives into the Yellowstone universe, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Until then, this is TV Promo Recap, and I'll see you in the next video.